Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Happy New Year! Roll it, Tony.
This better be worth it. I was getting my legs waxed. Now I've got one hairy one and unsmooth. And don't you dare look.
He's ready to die on the floor of our infirmary, so yes, we think he's credible.
He wants immunity.
I could give him immunity. He's got 400 grams of heroin in his stomach.
That was most likely put there against his will.
Why don't you give him a deal pending investigation?
I'd appreciate it if you quit telling me how to do my job. And that is not a deal. You're asking me to misrepresent the U.S. Attorney's Office, which could corrupt the entire case.
Screw the case. We're talking about a kid's life here.
Would you stake your...
Ladies and gentlemen, happy New Year to each and every one of you. 2022 is going to be a good year, they tell me. Now, my first guest for the new year is a lady that I have known for a long time. She's a veteran actress with over 100 IMDb actress credits, and now she's a director. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iona Morris Jackson. Hi, Iona. How you doing, lady? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. It's an honor, my dear, and a pleasure to have you here as our first celebrity guest of the new year. We've been in this business now for about 5 years. We got about 300 episodes, so we've been doing it. Now, I was doing some research because I knew you was going to be on today. The last time you and I got together was in the mid-2014, where a young lady that you knew her, Pepper J., who I just called this morning and told her that you were going to be on this show. Remember, she used to have that organization, that house on, it was on Melrose Avenue, or Highland Avenue, actually. We're close to Melrose. She told me to say hello to you. She says she's been watching you. She heard about you. She's a very busy lady, but I will tell her what you say, definitely.
Please give her my love and hellos.
I got you. Moving on, where were you born at, my dear?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus OH10, as we used to call it.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. The home of a lot of people came out of Columbus, Ohio. I believe I had a situation where I had to go to a place called Urban Crest, Ohio, which I think is somewhere close to that place. You come from a great. Okay. Let's go this way. The year was 1966. You got your first IMDb actor's credit for appearing with your brother Phil in an episode of the original Star Trek. Take us back to that day, please. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, we got to get out of school for 2 days. That was very exciting. The episode is Mary, and it's an iconic episode. It's where all of the kids were over 300 years old. We're a bump, bump, grump, 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 were these famous words that came out of it. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We worked with Shatner kids. What they did was on the Desilu lot, my dad, who was on Mission Impossible, they went around the lot because they needed about, 20 or more kids. And they asked all the actors, do you have children between a certain age? And we were there with a lot of other actors' kids, and we had a good time. And they came to me on the second day and said, they came to my dad and said, we want her to say a line. We've got a line for her. So my dad came to me, baby, they have a line for you. And I fell out and went, no, Daddy, don't make me speak. Don't make me. So they gave it to my brother. I'm like, little girl.
Let's take a look at that little girl. Can you believe this? Look at this picture. Look at that. Who that?
Oh, God, yeah. We were dirty little kids living on this planet.
Thank you, Tony. Amazing. Now, of course, you come from a great background. You mentioned your father, who doesn't know Greg Morris. Can you put that picture up there? Oh, there he is. Look at that handsome suave and debona. Always a good looking guy.
Suaveness.
Suave. All right. As everybody knew, he was an outstanding actor. Tell us the influence that he had on you when it came to acting.
Well, my dad was very much into the craft of acting. He loved it. When we were kids, even though I got to do that when I was a little girl, I don't remember how old it was, maybe about 9 or 10. He did not want any of his kids to be actors because he was concerned about the casting couch for me. And also he was concerned about, are you going to make money? Are you really going to be able to survive in this business? And it was that was a hard conversation for him to have with us when we saw him. You okay, babe? I saw him being so successful, but he was very influential in the fact of respecting the craft, respecting your crew. Oh, he was so much into the crew. And just to really learn about what we were doing and to always be kind to people and appreciate everyone's contribution.
Gotcha. May he rest in peace and thank him for what he did for us. He did a lot for us. Now, the Morris name comes along with your brother, Phil, and your sister, Linda Morris.
Yes. Oh, you did do your homework.
Oh, yes, of course. Looked everywhere. She's folks. Linda is a producer and a writer, and Phil, of course, is an actor and a writer. So it's in the family. And then, last but not least, you got this new name, this Jackson. Please tell us about it.
Well, number one, I got married 6 years ago. Yeah. It can happen after 40.
Go ahead now.
And my wonderful husband, Untitled Jackson, who's a brilliant percussionist. And the reason why
look at that picture.
There's my baby. He plays with Stevie Wonder, Diane Reeves. He's played with Sting. He's played all over the world. When we got married, as any woman knows who has established a career, it's so hard to then change your name because people go looking for you. Yes. And they may not find you. So it wasn't until I started directing and became very serious about it that I decided to add Jackson to my name, because though I love acting, I really love directing. That's my passion right now. I get to see the whole picture.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. As an actress, can we just leave it here for just a second? As an actress, you had over 100 IMDb actress credits. Whew, that's a lot of work, and also a lot of auditions, would you say?
A lot more auditions.
Oh, yeah.
If I could say this for all actors,
yes,
auditioning is your job as well. There's so many times where I got an audition, and then there's another audition. But that is your training in that moment. The hardest thing you'll do on that job you may get is auditioning.
Yes.
And that is your job as well. So I want every actor to look at an audition as a conversation you're going to get to have at this moment in a different voice, as a different person, a different character. But it's just a conversation and a wonderful time to have.
I see you learned a lot.
And remember, when you're auditioning, you're not there to make a friend.
Exactly. You're there to get a job.
You're there to get a job. You're there to have a moment and to experience yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I see. When you write your next book, please put that in there, what you just said. It would be nice to give that advice to a lot of young people, because they just assume, and you spell that word, they just assume that they can get it when they have to understand there is a process called an audition. Now, Disney General Entertainment Directing Program. That came and hit you in your life. Tell us about it. How did you get to know about this event or this program?
Oh my. Let me see. I haven't seen that. Okay, so let me get this story and shorten it. So I worked on Blackish as the acting dialogue coach for 8 years.
Okay.
In our last season, I took the job as the dialogue coach because I wanted to. There's my husband. He had to be seen. He could have gone another way.
Well, you know how it is. Hey, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Hey, you're back there. I see you. Have a good Happy New Year to you, sir.
Oh my God, I love him so much. He makes me laugh. Woman, makes you laugh.
Yes, ma'am.
So I took the job because I was directing theater. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm ready. I want to direct television. And I really didn't know how to get back on the lot, how to do this. And a friend of mine said, well, there's a new show coming out called Blackish. And I went, oh, Blackish. Well, who's that mate? He said, well, Lawrence Fishburne. I went, sold. Sold. And then Anthony Anderson went, oh, Tracy Ellis Ross. Oh my God. So I interviewed for that. And a funny thing is, I had worked with one of the producers 30 years ago, and he remembered me, which was fantastic. I just directed one of the showrunners like 4 months before that. So it was meant to be. So I got on the set. I'd never worked behind the camera. I'd never been crew, and I wanted to have that experience. So after 6 years, of course, while I'm doing this, I get an opportunity to shadow directors. So I'm being paid to do this. And that's why I took the job. All of them told me, if you want to direct, you're going to have to direct your own short film, so we can see what you do. I mean, we know you can direct because you directed a lot of theater, you directed it. I co-executive produced it. I wrote it, and I had planned to be in it, but I fired myself after the read-through. And that's a whole other story.
Yes, yes.
Because I really only wanted to wear one hat.
Got you.
My film has been in 14 different festivals.
Woo, go ahead.
Been nominated for 3 awards. It's won 1 award, which has been really fantastic. And so they saw my film, they liked it. So that's after 6 years. So 2 years later, we're about to end. Blackish is a baby. Because they can hear you with the water. Thank you, honey. When he's washing dishes. So we're about to end. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had my shot. We've got 13 episodes. So I send an email to three producers. Hey, I'm here. Remember my episode? No, remember my short. You liked it. I really, if there is an opportunity, there's an opening, I hope that you would slot me in. Well, little did I know that Tracy Ellis Ross at the time had just that Saturday dropped her episode. She was supposed to direct and decided she had so much going on, she wasn't going to direct. I got that slot. And at the same time, when one of the producers called around, they all had discussions. Should we give it to her? What should we do? Blah, blah, blah. One said, hey, hold on. There is the Disney program is going on. Let's see if we can get her in. I did everything I needed to do, and I got chosen. And I got into the ABC Disney Directors Program, which was fantastic. And then I went and took the DGA First Time Episodic Directors Program, which is a day long of wow. They talk about an intensive. I don't even know if that's intense enough for what it is. And it's fantastic. And then I got my episode. And
Tony, would you show that picture of her in that? There you go. Those are participants that are in the class with you.
Oh yeah, and we're still friends today. We still stay in touch with each other on WhatsApp to hear, what are you doing? We're shadowing, and if no one knows what shadowing is, that's when you come in and you're sitting with a director at Video Village. Yes. And you are just watching what's going on, getting to know crew, getting to know actors, and also learning from the professional director who's directing that particular episode. So all of us have had shadowing assignments. You've been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to my next ones because it's so important. You get to learn from those directors.
Yes. Do you have intentions of doing more acting?
At some point in time, I'm sure I will. Mm-hmm. But really, I want to direct. I love it.
Go.
I love having the whole show in the palm of my hand. Yes. I love the visual.
Yes.
As an actor, which is wonderful, but you're just getting your one little part of the story. Right. As a director, I'm getting the whole story and I'm putting it together, the whole pie. And I love it. I love working with the crew and the designers and to see what they bring to the party.
You always say, quiet on the set, rolling. Action.
Well, no, that's not me. That's the AD. And then I say action. And now here lately, sometimes the AD says action, but I really love being the one to do that because then it's in my energy field.
Yes. This program, a lot of people don't understand, what it's like to go, that programs like this even exist. So how do you get people to understand it, to know? Because there's a lot of people out here that are doing well and have a lot of talent.
Well, what you do is you go online and you look for, what did I look for? Because you look for a director's programs, studio directors programs. You Google, and then you will be taken to Sony, I believe, has a program. Warner Brothers has a program. ABC Disney has a program. There are many directors programs out there that will give you a lot of opportunities to learn about television directing and also filming, gotcha. which is wonderful. And I got to tell you, they say this, but it's so true. Until you're really in the chair, That's where you grow. No matter how much you are in the programs, you really grow when you're in that chair.
Some big. What to your way of thinking? Is there not enough female directors?
Let me answer that question two ways. One, there are a lot more female, a lot more ethnic female directors, and just ethnic directors out there. Black, Asian, Latino, Indigenous, a lot more directors than there have been. There should be more female directors, and we are coming along. You know, I'm happy to say that when I was coming up in this industry as an actor, I didn't work with one female director, and I worked with only one or two, I'll say two, but I can only remember one Black director, Tony Singletary. No, I worked with two Black directors, also Stan Lathan. And now there are many of us out there, and there are more to come. And I think there's a blessing of all what's happening on cable, so many streaming shows. So there are a lot of opportunities, and more than there were way back in the day when I started.
For those kind words. I hope that folks are listening. I teach over at Santa Monica College. We got a film program over there. USC's got a film program. Everybody's got one. But these young people have to understand you might not get a job in this town right away. You might have to go and do something small and work your way up. It takes a while. It takes a while.
It takes time, and it takes patience.
Yes.
It takes patience, because while you're doing it, you are growing, and you're going to make mistakes. Oh my gosh. I know I made mistakes on my first time out, but you know what? You've got people who support you, and you've got to know if this is what you're supposed to do, doggone it, this is what I'm supposed to do. And that's the attitude you come with, and that's the attitude you keep yourself going. And there were times when I would sit down and just meditate through the day, just to calm and just stay centered and grateful of where I was, because the episode I got was amazing. I was on location. I had our three top male actors for 4 days. It was a very emotional episode. It's a beautiful episode about forgiveness and letting go and asking for forgiveness, and about relationships.
Iona, thank you very much for being here today. As they say, you made my day. Best wishes to you for all the future events that you're getting involved with. Congratulations, Happy New Year's, and God bless you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to at this time, take a few moments to remember the passing of two members of the acting community. On Friday, New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2021, veteran actress, producer, writer, Betty White, passed at the age of 99, and she was just weeks before her 100th birthday. Miss White was known for the work she did as the devious Sue Ann Nevins of the classic sitcom of Mary Tyler Moore Show. Later, she played the role of the ditzy Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls. During her 73 years as an actress, she performed in 123 IMDb actress roles. Miss White was known for the First Lady of Television and was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame. On Saturday, New Year's Day, January 1st, 2022, actor, writer, producer Max Julien died. He was 88. He was classically trained as an actor. Max began his career in New York's off-Broadway circuit. He later moved west and came here to Hollywood and got his first IMDb role in 1968 on the movie Psych with Jack Nicholson as a co-star. Now, during his decades-long careers, he has been known for being bold, honest, and straightforward. Many well-known rappers have sampled his voice from the movie The Mac, which he starred in. He had a terrific body of work, which included not only films, but TV as well. Ladies and gentlemen, may they both rest in peace, and we thank them for what they gave us. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Yeah, maybe it's time to consider getting some help. It's not required yet, but for now, take some more time off.
Did he have something to do with this, Chief?
Jack, come on.
What do you mean, come on? Did you do this?
You're out of line.
Am I really?
No one had anything to do with this. This is just about you. Look, we all know it's been a rough few years, but you gotta get back on track.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is an Ovation-nominated actor and for the artistic director of Cold Tofu, the nation's first and largest Asian American comedy group in 1981. She's also a company member of the Impro Theater's main company and a producing director at Playground LA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jully Lee. Jully Lee, how you doing?
Hi, Ron. Good morning. How are you?
Very good to see you, my dear. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Right. I haven't seen you since last year. Right. I understand that.
Yeah, I think it was 2019, actually.
Oh, yeah. That's a joke. I haven't seen you since last year when you turn over that new year. Yeah, you and I have bumped into each other many, many places. First of all, I got to ask you this. How did you celebrate the arrival of the new year?
Well, the new year, you know what? I actually got COVID in December, so I spent it recovering.
Good.
Yeah. I was in New York and I had tested negative, so I was able to fly, but I still had some symptoms as I was recovering. So I pretty much slept through the new year.
Wow. You started your career as a model and you ventured into the showbiz industry. Tell us about that.
Okay. Actually, I did not start off as a model. I think that may have been from Google. People just say a bunch of stuff about.
I know. They told me that
things.
you were from Hong Kong. I went, what? That's why I had to call you and ask you, where you from?
I was born in Los Angeles. I did not start off as a model. I've actually never modeled. Never modeled. Yeah, started off acting.
Amazing. It's like we have to watch ourselves because again, we're using all this information and we got an audience out there. They want to see something good. It's something real nice. Well, okay. You got your first IMDb actress credit for a movie you did in 2005 called Magma, Earth's Molten Core. Remember that?
I do remember that. That was directed. It was directed by one of my first acting teachers in Los Angeles, Don Magwood. And initially, he asked me to come on as an extra because I had no experience working as an actor. I was taking his class. It was a beginning. It was like a beginning actors class. And one of the actresses had left the production for some reason, so it was kind of like a last minute thing. And he said, "Do you want a speaking role?" And I was like, well, "Hell yeah!" So that was how I got my first speaking role in a film. It was through that opportunity. Yeah.
You know, you and I have talked about this. Actors, because I have a bone to pick with a lot of actors. They come here to Los Angeles, illusions and grandeur. I want to be a star. We've gone through that. They'll do film, they'll do television, but they won't get up on that stage. And I wonder, why is that? What is that? Are they nervous? What is it?
When they get up on stage?
They don't want to get up on. They don't want to be up on the stage.
Oh yeah, it's the nerves.
Yeah.
The nerves. I think it's a lot of self-consciousness and just really wanting to succeed and not knowing what that looks like at first. So, and just that excitement. I think those two things hit against each other, that nervousness and the desire to have things be amazing. It just kind of clashes there. And so I can definitely relate with freezing up or getting super anxious before any project, really. Even now, I've been on like 24 sets.
Yes.
And still, when it's your first day on set, it's always a little nerve-wracking. It's always easier if you're on set for the second day or if you're on set for more than just, one day.
Yeah.
But that first day is always scary. It's all new people. It's a new environment. It's always new situations.
I tell you, it takes a while. It's an anxiety thing. You got to really work on it. It takes maybe some therapy. I don't know. It might help you out.
What does help with anxiety and new things is improv. So practicing improv, because there are some mantras of improv, yes, and tools that help you stay in the moment and embrace the moment and embrace new things and the unexpected.
You are a graduate of the University of California, San Diego, where you earned your BA in Human Development and Family Studies and General. Correct?
Correct. That one is true, yeah.
1 out of 2 ain't bad. But it's interesting. You are best known at one time for a movie you did called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Remember that?
TV show, yes.
Yeah. There you go over there. Tell us about that movie. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, that was such a great experience. I was on set for 3 days and it was just an amazing experience. The creator, writer, star of the show, uh, she uh, she was an all-star everything. She did everything. She's a star of the show. She was doing choreography, she was singing, she was improvising lines, she was doing it as scripted. She was just this all-star phenomenal woman who did everything beautifully. I was so impressed by her. Just seeing her work is what really inspired me. um Rachel Bloom is her name, and she was phenomenal. I mean, she was like the top dog on the show. This is her show. She had created it, and then the cast was sitting there in our chairs. We were waiting for the next shot to be set up, and she walked by with a roll of paper towels, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on?" She said, "Spilled something," and then she walked by. I'm like, she must have a dozen PAs to do that for her, but she is on the ground um doing everything. I was just very inspired by her. So just seeing her work was just phenomenal. And the show is so funny. It's so well written, and was hilarious. And there was a musical number that was based on Chicago. Oh, was Cell Block Tango. So
Mhm.
being part of that song was super fun. I love Chicago. That's one of my favorite movie musicals of all time. So it was just a trip just to be on set and experiencing that.
Now, you have the reputation of being one of the most popular actresses in the world of cinema.
Oh, do I? Is that what the internet says?
It was in, it was in your bio. What about
That's hilarious. That's
uh,
okay. Your lips to God's ears, or the internet to God's ears.
uh, and this year, this last year, 2021, you did 4 TV roles that year. That was a good year for you.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the TV roles was in 2020. At the end of
Uh-huh.
2020, it was SWAT.
Yes.
And I did a role that, and that was one of the first productions back from the pandemic when everything had shut down. And so
Yeah.
they were really big on all the protocols. Well, all the productions now are. So it was interesting. It was the first show back for me since
Mhm.
the pandemic, and just all those regulations, like craft services had a big tent around it. No
Uh-huh.
one could go near anything. Someone had to get you. I mean, it was just an interesting change in how things normally operate.
Okay. One of those films was called Hometown Cha Cha Cha.
Oh yes, that for that I did dubbing. So that is a Netflix series.
Mhm.
It's a Korean series, and what's really cool is that Netflix they're bringing in all these series from all over the world, and they're doing a bunch of dubbing for all of those series, movies, and TV shows. And so there's a lot of work in voiceover for actors right now through Netflix.
Wow. Since you brought it up, can you tell us from where you sit, the situation for Asians in Hollywood at this time?
The situation for Asians in Hollywood at this time. It's complicated. It's complicated. I think when Parasite won Best Film a couple of years ago, it was very exciting. It was a huge,
Mm-hmm.
but it's always pitted up against, there's phenomenal talent and
Yes.
success and achievement. Um, but the recognition for Asian faces is not quite there yet. Uh, I think for the entire cast, it was hard for Hollywood to get their names straight, or even to mention their names, which is understandable. It's, a different language, and the names are in different languages, they're Korean names. But I think it just goes to show that still there's a hesitancy to embrace the acting talents of Asians and Asian Americans. I think it's hard to see Asian Americans as or in lead roles, and not award it, but just to embrace that and accept it sometimes.
Talking the other day, talking with some friends about languages and different cultures and being able to communicate with people. And, sometimes people might say, well, I don't like him talking because she's talking about me. Well, no, they're not talking about you. They're two people talking the language of their country, of who they are. Leave it alone. Leave
Right,
it
yeah,
alone.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
people,
think I
people.
think and that's a tricky thing too. It's that language barrier, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's communication.
That's
Hmm.
the name of the game. You want to be able to talk to people. Oh boy. One more question, a couple more questions for you. as a director, you worked with the company of Angles. Is it Angles or Angles?
Angels.
Angels, okay. Playground LA, Playgroup SF, Cold Tufu, East West Players here, and now LAFPI, ALAP. You are a busy lady.
Yeah, I was particularly busy during the pandemic. There was so much content being done through Zoom.
Yes.
And it was almost ironic. I feel like there was more work because it was so much more accessible, particularly with schedules, like actor schedules, director schedules. You could be in a rehearsal for 3 hours and then 5 minutes later be at another rehearsal, which would be impossible in real life in Los Angeles with traffic and everything and parking.
Yes.
So, in a beautiful way, Zoom made the pandemic really made things accessible and possible. That was, yeah.
Interesting. We have a picture that I fell upon, and I thought I'd show it at this time. Tony, can you put that very much? Because this young lady, oh, who is that fine, fine lady? Who that? New hairstyle.
That is a new hairstyle, yeah.
Who did that? Heidi?
Yes, her name was Heidi.
Yes.
How did you know that, Ron?
Research.
She's a phenomenal hairstylist. When I was in New York, I was staying with a couple of friends, Bruce and Catherine, and Catherine had been going to Heidi for over 30 years.
Wow.
30 years. And so she had, and I thought, I'm in New York. I need a haircut. I need to do something with my hair. And she recommended Heidi in New York. And that was one of the best decisions that I made. She was fantastic.
Indeed. Looks well. Looks well. We got just a few moments. Tony, can you put that schedule up there? Here's a schedule for ladies and gentlemen, for Jully. Look, if you can hold that for just a moment so folks might want to copy some of that stuff down. You are busy. Look at the places you're going to be going as the new year comes out.
Yeah, doing a lot of stuff. It's exciting. I've been very, very lucky. And a lot of those projects is really just through relationships and word of mouth. So
are you talking about WOM again?
Word of yes. All these acronyms, yeah. WOM.
WOM. In Los Angeles. Thank you, Tony.
It took me a second. WOM. Yeah.
What a world. Jully, God bless you. You've had a great years and behind you and more to come. You and I will get back together again, talk about bring some friends on, whatever the case may be. But we thank you, sincerely thank you. Continued, I mean continued success. You got your hands everywhere.
You as well, Ron.
I take my hat off to you and I'm not wearing a hat.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Jully Lee. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Roll it, Tony.
Listen, I will do what I do, no matter if you take the money or not. What will you do? Go to the police?
You don't get it, do you?
The surveillance system is to protect my property, not to catch women leaving the club with men leaving their friends behind.
Are you saying she left with someone?
What else?
Ladies and gentlemen, now you've just seen a short clip of the film Betrayed from the work of my next guest today. He's a multi-award-winning filmmaker, an actor. He starred in over 40 feature films and TV shows with legendary stars such as Tom Sizemore, Tara Reid, and John Savage, among many, many others. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Harley Wallen. Harley, bless you, sir. Welcome to Happy New Year, first of all, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. I want to thank your manager, Joe Williamson, for bringing you in. We thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy.
Yeah, and he had a lot to say. He has a lot to say about you.
Hopefully all good, right?
Oh, no question. No question about it. No question. First question I have, sir. Please tell us, where are you from?
I am from Sweden, and currently I reside in Michigan, United States.
Michigan, okay. So you do all your work there in Detroit?
My personal work I do here, but I do have other work. I've been on Homicide Hunter, and that's shot in Tennessee, and some other shows and films in Denver and LA and Illinois. So I've been kind of all over, but my personal work as a director producer is done in Michigan. and I'll pretty much have to say no to that answer. Next month, I start my very first documentary, and that's going to take me to Kentucky a little bit, but primarily I'll be in New Orleans. So I won't even be able to say that anymore soon.
But New Orleans, or New Orleans as they call it.
Right.
And by the way, they got some doggone good gumbo down there.
I can't wait. I love that kind of food. And to me, the spicier, the better. So
yes.
I'm going to be right at home. I probably won't want to head back to cold Michigan again after that.
I have a daughter that lives down in New Orleans, and she says she cooked a big pot of some gumbo over the weekend for the holidays. So
that sounds amazing.
Good food down there. But you were born and raised in Malmo, Sweden.
Yeah.
Indeed. Wonderful country. Wonderful. But here's the thing. I see that as you grew up in Sweden, you started your journey as a martial artist. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was fairly athletic, not a superstar athletic, but I couldn't find something that I liked. I played on a couple of team sports as a little kid, and I always felt like if I was fantastic, there may be somebody on the team that could hold us back from winning.
Okay.
Or I may not be so good, and I could hold the team back from winning, and it felt so unfair. And I didn't understand teamwork at the time, so it was all individual performance for me, either holding me back or furthering me. And I tried a couple of individual sports, but I played tennis, I played table tennis, and some things that are popular in Sweden. Just didn't find a love for it. And I remember my mom and dad saw this thing about judo, and they said, "You want to try it out?" And I'm like, "I don't know what it is, but yeah, let's give it a go." So we went down, and I tried it out, and I was fascinated by it. So I just stuck with me ever since. And at the end of the day, I spent about 4.5 years on the Swedish national team, and I did so in 2 different martial arts, judo and taekwondo. Eventually, 2 completely different martial arts. But I've always been very fascinated, and eventually fought in the cage as well. So most of my life has been in the martial arts discipline one way or the other.
Okay. I understand that you're also a dancer, a break dancer at that, and you got a job on a syndicated Swedish TV cult hit called, let me see if I got this right, Solstolarna.
Solstolarna.
Bless you.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually a really, really big show. And at the time I was, teenager, and it was almost like a cabaret style show, like the Osmonds or something like that. Donnie and Marie had a show, and that's the closest thing I can liken it to. But I got on because of the dancing, because they had musical guests. So Samantha Fox was on there, and some of the Swedish stars, and we were essentially transitioning from set to musical act back to set. And they started asking us when they had one-liners, they would say, "Hey, do you want to be the guy buying the tanning lotion at the store?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So then you start hanging out with the actors, and then you start seeing the acting process. And I was like, I had no idea, someone else essentially. And I was just fascinated by it. So I went and got myself into an acting class and found an acting coach and all that stuff after that, because it was just amazing to see. I thought I was hopping into a pool that was about knee deep, and I just sunk in and I couldn't even find bottom. So I loved that, because that's with martial arts. It's the same thing. You'll never perfect it. And I love the fact that you will always strive to be better. You'll always grow and learn.
Excellent. That acting bug, when he bites you, he will let you something. You left Sweden, you came to the United States. I understand that you did a movie called Donofrio MMA.
Donofrio MMA, XCC MMA, and WXC MMA. Right now I'm on UFC Fight Pass doing commentary as a fight commentator, because that was where I ended my own fighting career, was in the cage. So that's kind of what I do now, that I'm a little too old to fight still, but I can still talk about it.
You and your wife put together a production company called Painted Creek Productions. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So in Michigan, we used to have film incentives. A lot of people are not familiar, but Batman versus Superman, and a lot of things were shot here in Michigan. And we had a lot of big films coming through. And then when they cut the film incentives, for someone like me that was at the time only an actor, it was pretty disappointing because I really wanted to take my craft to another level. And suddenly those opportunities felt very removed. Our independent film circuit was not very good at the time. And me and an acting friend of mine decided that we were going to put our names in the hat. So I talked to Katie, my wife, and I talked until we realized that we didn't know enough, and we had to go get more knowledge. And then it was film school from there, and whatever the rest is the beginning of the history, I guess.
Wow, you've got quite a story there. Quite a story. You did in 2020. You did a movie by the name of Bennett Song. Excuse me.
Yeah, we did Bennett's Song Holiday, which is the sequel to Bennett's Song. Both actually just got put on Roku for free. So anybody who's interested in good family entertainment, family fun, it's like a rom-com but with a family feel. But it touches lightheartedly on subjects of things that mean a lot to both me and my partner, Nancy Oswine, who wrote the film. She's an adopted mother, so she has kids from Asia and South America, and she doesn't look necessarily like your normal nuclear family. And a lot of people are like, oh, how is that your kid? You don't look alike. And, oh, so you're not her real, all these silly things. So in the Bennett Song franchise, we touch on a lot of those type of things that, you know, we're different, but we're still the same. We're still a family. We still love. It doesn't matter what our eye color or hair color or skin color is. We're all from the same origin, and we need to accept each other with love in our heart. And I think Bennett's Song really touches on that beautifully.
Harley, we just happen to have a small clip of that. Roll it, Tony.
There was all this excitement, and then 9 years later, it was all gone. Hollywood stopped calling, and Grandma got sick. We moved back to Michigan. Dad tried to revive his career, but Mom didn't want to move back to LA, and she just.
I like the last three words you said. Move to Sweden. That's what you said.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's funny. We when Nancy wrote that,
yes,
she actually used my real life person as the inspiration for the person I played on screen.
Yes.
And honestly, it was one of the hardest preps I've ever had to do for a role, because normally the character are kind of far removed from ourselves, and they live in a place that we don't live, and they do things we don't do. So it's pretty easy. I mean, I play a Russian mobster, and it's not who I am. So it's very easy to know where that character begins and ends. But when I played Cole, I was always kind of like, oh, I wonder how I would have handled this situation compared to how Cole handled it. So that was a very, very interesting thing, to play somebody that's probably 70-80% of Cole is me. So how do I draw those lines in my beings, and how do I become this person that's just slightly different than me? That was a challenge, but it was a lot of fun.
You have some impeccable credits. You have 63 actor credits, 25 producer, 19 director, 10 casting director. Interesting. Why the casting director?
I think it started out of necessity, because when you're starting with limited budgets, you will often be the best at the job compared to who else would do it for free. Sadly, that's the reality. And then as time went, I just found that when it comes to what I look for in an actor, I look at some of the greats. I look at Tarantino, I look at Scorsese, and look at Michael Mann, and I look at what were their criteria for casting. And they always said, if you're going to be one of the main guys in the film, you have to have screen presence. That means you're the guy that when you're on screen, people don't check their messages on their phone, and they don't start talking to somebody else in the seat next to them. And we all know of those people. You know, you're talking about Denzel and De Niro and Pacino. Those people that just take the screen and own it. Meryl Streep is one of them as well. They just take the screen and own it. So that was a big part of it. And then the next thing was truth. And to know truth in performance as an actor, you either have to have a strong acting background or be an excellent casting director. So that was the thing that I cared a lot about. And then fit, which is, you know, do I believe that you are who you say you are? Do you, if somebody said to me that you were going to play a character that you didn't at all look like, or didn't at all feel like, or didn't walk like, or didn't keep the statue of, then I probably wouldn't believe you. So I just found a way to cast that became really important to me. And then I was kind of handcuffed to this because who else could I trust with this? Funny thing enough is, since then, my wife, Katie, now has actually done everything except my Hollywood casting. She's done almost all of the casting for me. So I think I was just not being clear enough in my communication before, because she's been able to do it, you know, just as well as I would have.
Tony, can you put up that picture of Katie, please? She's there you go. There you go. Looking good. Looking G-double-O-D.
I did good. I did very good.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, that's great. And you guys are, by the way, we want to see what we can do to get her to come on the show. We'd love to have her as a guest.
Oh, great.
Because she's an actress. She's doing all the same things that you're doing. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
And she started even earlier than me. I don't know if Joe ever told you, but so Katie, my wife Katie's older sister Kelly, I think she has 5 Emmys at this point. You know, she's done some incredible things. Her latest feature called Game Girls was at the Berlinale, you know, which is the second biggest festival in Europe, only to Cannes. So she's quite the filmmaker herself. Right now, she's doing work for the ID Network, and doing true crime and having a blast with it. And she's really, really, really talented. So it's funny. We both come from backgrounds so related to this, and somehow connected and found each other, and then took the chance to jump into this, which is a pretty wild field. When you think about acting and filmmaking, it's nuts for the weak of heart, because it is a hard job to have, because anybody who's been on set for a feature film, our last film, Beneath Us All, we had 18 shooting days in 3 weeks, and the average workday was 14 hours. So that's the kind of that's production, and that doesn't include pre-production and the 2 months of leading into it and the year after in post-production. It's a lot of work to be a filmmaker, without a doubt.
You've got, what is it, 5 or 7 films in either post-production, pre-production, or just completed?
An awful lot, yeah. Right now, the next one up is Ash and Bone. We just finished, sent in our deliverables. We right now are actually talking, a film festival would like to have our LA premiere screening at the end of February at the Chinese Theater, which we've had 2 premieres at the Chinese Theater before. So it's one of my very favorite places to have a premiere. So we're probably going to take them up on that. And then I am in very late stage editing. This Friday, I will have the rough cut of Beneath Us All, our first vampire film. And that's going to be, I'm beyond excited. I feel like these last 2 films, we've taken it to a level far beyond what we have done in the past. So I'm really excited. And then, yes, a lot of projects coming up. Some of them are scripts waiting for funding. Some of them are, partially funded, and we're looking to complete the funding at the end of this documentary. But it's a wild lifestyle, and I love it.
Harley, I want to thank you very, very much for coming today. We'll see you in the future. Happy New Year to you and the missus, and God bless you for what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joe Williamson for me, please. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, and I'd love to come back on.
You got it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dan. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Harry Buford, Book for the Future, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much, much thanks to our guest today, director Iona Morris Jackson, actress Jully Lee, and actor-director Harley Wallen. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, special thanks always goes out to our ever-growing audience. We thank you for helping us out. See you next time. Take care. Happy New Year.